You can go to the gym 4 days a week and still be sedentary. Now, if that made you feel uncomfortable, it's probably because you know I'm talking about you. Now, there's actually a name for this. We call her the active sedentary woman. She gets in a great 45-minute workout and then sits for the other 15 waking hours. So she's in her car, her desk, the dinner table, and then the couch. And she cannot understand why her belly fat will not budge when she is so obviously working so hard in the gym. I'm Dr. Rachel Felber. I'm an ER physician and a strength coach for women. And if I were over 50, working out regularly, and the scale was still not moving, this is the first place I would look. I'm going to give you 4 totally doable rules: no gym and nothing that adds any time to your day. Rule number 2 is probably my favorite because it changes your metabolism in just 10 minutes, and not enough women know about it. Now, I got to give my disclaimer. I am a doctor, but I am not your doctor. This video is for general education. It's not medical advice. Please talk to your own doctor before you make any big changes, especially if you have heart disease or joint problems or balance issues, or you were told to limit your activity for whatever reason. All right, let's get into it. So here's what I want you to understand first, because it puts everything else I'm going to talk about into context. Your workout is not where most of your calories are burned. That is not how this works. If you need to lose weight, the answer is not to work out more. The single biggest lever you have on your daily energy burn is not your exercise. It's called NEAT. Non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And it's every little thing that you do that's not a dedicated workout or exercise. So that's standing, walking to the car, carrying groceries, getting the mail, cooking dinner, hanging up your clothes. And here's a number that shocks most women. NEAT can vary by up to 2,000 calories a day between 2 women of the same size. 2,000 calories a day. I am not making this up. This is real. Same body, same weight. One of them moves all day, the other one sits. That gap is so much bigger than your workout in the gym could ever dream of being. Your 45-minute spin class might get you 400 calories. NEAT is just playing a completely different game. So when I talk to a woman who is working out 4 or 5 days a week and still feels stuck and not able to lose weight, I don't look at her workouts first. I look at what's she doing the other 15 or 16 hours of the day. Okay, so here's the part that kind of sucks, and I really wish it wasn't true, but it is, so you need to know it. When you sit for long periods of time, your body goes into this sort of hibernation mode. Your metabolism slows down a little bit, your insulin sensitivity drops a little bit, and the machinery that manages your fat loss slows down. So what's not fair is that just getting in your dedicated exercise does not actually protect you from this. Research shows that prolonged daily sitting puts you in a state called exercise resistance. I'm so sorry. Where even an hour of hard exercise doesn't give you the benefits for things like improved blood sugar, your insulin response, or fat metabolism that it otherwise would if you were more active the rest of the day. I hate to be the bearer of this awful news, but the truth is that that's why so many women work their asses off in the gym and still don't lose weight. They're not getting out what they put in because being sedentary the rest of the day is actually erasing a lot of the results that they should be getting. And then there's the other thing. When you diet hard, your body actually cuts down your NEAT. It's protecting you, theoretically. It senses a shortage of energy input, so it makes you fidget less and stand less and take the stairs less. And it's not like you decided you're going to be less active. It just sort of happens. And usually the woman doesn't even know that it's happening. So you're eating less, but then you're unintentionally moving less. So your calorie burn is dropping to meet your calorie intake, and then your weight plateaus. And then you have those dudes on Instagram telling you that you're probably just counting your calories wrong. There's nothing wrong with your discipline, and you're probably not just weighing and calculating your food wrong. Your body is just doing what it was built to do, and nobody ever explained how that's really working. So that's the problem. And here are the 4 rules to fix it. Rule number 1 is you need to know your number. I'm talking about your actual current daily step average. Okay, so if you look at your phone right now, almost every phone counts your steps, even if you've never actually asked it to. So open whatever health app you have on there and look at your daily average for the last week. So this is your actual number. Maybe you already knew it. Maybe your guess was pretty close, or maybe, like many women, you were many thousands off. By the way, first, I want to be clear about why we care about steps. There's nothing special about steps per se. Your body doesn't care about steps specifically. They're just an easy proxy for how much you move, how much of your day your muscles are contracting instead of just being still or motionless. But lots of things we do, like gardening, for example, doesn't rack up many steps, but it's still movement and it still counts. Bouncing a toddler on your lap for 10 minutes is the same thing. So we're often doing things throughout the day that your body counts as movement, but doesn't get us steps. So it's just helpful to keep that in mind. Steps is not a perfect proxy, but it is a very helpful tool that we can use to understand how active we are in general. So what I want you to take away is that I should move more is not a plan, it's an idea. And if there's no number associated with it, you can't work toward reaching it. And you have nothing to aim for, so you either think you're doing well or you think you're not doing well. And most of the time, it just ends up making you feel unsure and like a failure. So first, find your current baseline and then set a floor. And this is not like a dream goal. This is your, I'm not ending the day until I've hit it number that's reasonable for you. So if you are at 3,000, your floor is not going to be 10,000. Your floor might be 4,000. And once you're hitting it every single day for a couple weeks, then you can bump it up to 5,000. So the research, by the way, is actually really encouraging on this. You don't actually need 10,000. That number came from a marketing slogan from a Japanese pedometer in like the 1960s, I think. What the studies actually show is that the sweet spot for living longer and reducing your risk of dying early is somewhere between 7,000 and 8,000 steps a day. That is the range where your risk of dying early drops the most. And for women in our 40s and beyond, a lot of that benefit actually shows up well before 7,000. The biggest gains come from going from sedentary to the vicinity of 4,000 or so. So if you're at 3,000, and you're able to get to 7,000, that's honestly amazing. You are good there. Rule number 2 is walk 10 minutes after every meal. Now, I want to explain exactly what those 10 minutes do for your body, because once you understand the mechanism, you're much more likely to stick to it. Your muscles are the largest storage tank for glucose in your body. And normally, to get that glucose out of your blood and into your muscles, and almost all of your body's cells, you need insulin to unlock the door. But here's the cool part. When your muscles contract, they open that door themselves without needing insulin. The contraction itself is what causes the door to open and allows glucose to move from the bloodstream into the muscle. And here's a really nice bonus of doing this after your meals. Every time your muscles handle glucose this way, that is one less time your body has to call on insulin to do it. So when you do this often enough, your insulin sensitivity actually improves. And you get to the point where your body needs less and less insulin to manage your blood glucose. And that is a very big deal because losing that sensitivity is the road to prediabetes and diabetes, as well as, honestly, most chronic medical conditions, including high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, and even some cancers. Okay, so let's look at what actually happens. You just had a meal, your blood sugar is climbing, and that glucose has to go somewhere. It can't stay in the blood. So you have two options. Option 1 is you sit down on the couch. Your muscles aren't asking for anything because they're not doing anything. So that glucose isn't needed anywhere in particular right now. So the level rises in your blood and your body uses some of it for whatever reactions are needed in your body. And whatever isn't needed in that moment basically gets stored as fat. And that's not because you ate the wrong thing, but because you ate and then just sat. Now, option 2 You go for a walk for 10 minutes. Your legs are contracting, your heart is beating a little faster, your lungs are working a little harder to exchange gases, and that glucose is actually being put to work. And specifically, your muscles are opening that door to pull glucose right out of your bloodstream to burn as fuel for your walk. So it goes into the muscle and not into fat storage. So you have the same meal, eat the same food, the same number of calories, and there's a completely different process happening in your body. And the only difference was whether you just sat at your desk or the couch or the car, whatever, or you walked a little bit after your meal. So this part is very important to understand. It is not just about what you eat. It also matters largely what you do with your body in the short time right after your meal. You can literally choose to turn your dessert into muscle fuel instead of fat storage. And it doesn't have to be anything exciting. So many women think that if they're not wearing leggings or breaking a sweat, it doesn't count. But that is not true at all. It counts, trust me. So you finish your meal, you can take a walk around the block, walk in place in front of the TV. My husband and I do this all the time. We call it our TV walk. Take the dog out. You could load the dishwasher or put a load of laundry away. That's literally all we're talking about. Just be up and moving, not sitting. And it makes such a big difference over time. So if you do nothing else from this whole video, do this one. Okay, so rule 1 and 2 are the foundation. But the reason that so many women struggle is not that they don't know that they should move more. It's that they're waiting for a nice, big, empty block of time that obviously never comes. So let me show you what to do instead. Rule number 3 is stop trying to find an hour, work with minutes. Let's start treating movement the way we treat snacking. Little bites, all day long. We're not looking for a big meal. We just need a little bit pretty often. And the research really backs this up. Breaking up sedentary time with short bursts, even just a few minutes every hour or so, is more effective for blood sugar control than one long bout of exercise. This means that frequency beats duration. Consistency beats intensity, just like everything else we talk about here. And this is actually great news because most of us don't have loads of free time. We're busy women. We've got tons going on in our lives. We don't have large chunks waiting for us to fill, but we have 2 minutes here and there. We might have 10 minutes a few times a day. So keep this in mind. Your body does not know if you're in the gym or not. It doesn't know if you're on a treadmill or just walking to the store from the farthest parking spot. It doesn't know if you're lifting dumbbells or carrying your groceries in more trips than was really necessary. It just knows you're moving. Now, I'm going to give you a list of some things that you can start doing today that don't take up any significant amount of time, but they inject just a little bit more movement throughout your day. It's basically just attaching a bit of movement to things you're already doing. So first, at work, every time you finish a task before you move to the next thing, just stand up and move for 60 seconds. Take a short walk, do a little stretch, do a couple push-ups. That's it. It's not silly. It works. If you're on the phone, stand up, walk up and down the hallway, or just pace in circles in your office. This way, a 30-minute phone call is 30 minutes of movement you get for free. You could drink out of a smaller water bottle, so you have to get up and refill it more often. And my favorite is do 10 squats every time you use the bathroom. Yes, you will feel ridiculous for a few days, but you'll also be doing 40 to 60 squats a day every day. Think about what that's going to do for your glutes. No gym time needed. Make a rule that you never take the elevator if it's less than 3 flights of stairs. Cliche, but a good one. Park the furthest spot from where you're going. I know that you're circling around for the closest spot. Everyone does, but not anymore. Bring your groceries in from the car, 1 bag at a time. Yes, it's more trips. That's the point. Use getting the mail as an excuse to walk a couple blocks first. If you're someone who likes to listen to audiobooks or podcasts instead of just sitting on the couch, take it outside for a walk. Another one of my favorites is the coffee walk. Instead of meeting your friend for a big indulgent lunch or happy hour, how about taking a coffee walk? Get a drink that you love, have a nice stroll outside, enjoy each other's company minus the calorie dump. And this is nice because you get to share your new healthy habit with someone you care about. Now, for home, you're watching TV, between episodes or during ads, just get up and move a little bit. You could do walking lunges, a couple push-ups, do a plank, or just sit on the floor and stretch. While you're brushing your teeth, stand on one leg. Keep good posture, tight core. Squeeze the glute on the standing leg. That's at least 2 minutes of core and balance work every single day for free. No additional time needed. So you've probably noticed none of these are fancy, exciting, or complicated. They're so easy they almost sound silly, but they can add up to many hundreds of calories over the course of the day. And these things alone can, for many women, be what finally gets the ball moving on weight loss. So I challenge you to pick just 3 of the examples I gave, 3 that sound doable and maybe even fun, and do them every day for the next week. And please keep in mind, on a day when you didn't get your workout in or the hit didn't happen, just making a point to move more still very much counts as a win. We are throwing away that all or nothing mentality that causes so many women to fail. If you moved when you had the option not to, that's a day that you won. Okay, quick thing. That list that I just gave you is from something that I call the movement menu. And I have a lot more of these, and they're sorted by where you spend time. So like your desk, your kitchen, your couch. And it's a chapter in my book, Your Metabolic Reboot, which teaches you exactly how to trade fat for muscle, whether you're 25, 45, or 65. You answer a few questions about your body, your goals, your history, and those answers determine the track you follow. So it's kind of like a choose your own adventure. I left the link for that book below. All right, last rule. And this is the one that nobody talks about. Rule number 4 is protect your NEAT when you're dieting. When you're trying to lose fat, your daily movement is the first thing that gets taken away. So remember what I said at the beginning. When you cut your calories too much, your body just sort of naturally slows you down. You walk less, you stand less, and you just move around in general less. And it's almost never even recognized. It just happens in the background. Your energy output naturally decreases to meet your energy input. So even if you started out eating in a deficit, that deficit slowly closes. So this is why deep calorie deficits fail and why calorie deficits that go on too long, so more than say 3 months or so, fail. Not because you cheated or you're a terrible person or you don't know how to count calories, but because your body did exactly what it was designed to do. So here's what I recommend. 1, don't cut so hard. A gentle deficit helps keep your daily movement going. And you can check out my free calculator to determine exactly what a gentle deficit means for you. I have the link to that below. Number 2 is track your steps while you're dieting. You can use this as an early warning system. So if your average is sort of drifting down without you intending it to, I would either increase my daily calories a little bit or just be more diligent about keeping your step count up for the day. And number 3, just eat enough in general. Too many women believe that food is the enemy of fat loss. It is not. It is your ally. When it's the right food, it's what gives you the energy to move a lot, to get your strength workouts in, to do the hits that give us so many incredible health benefits, and of course, to feed our beautiful developing muscles. If you chronically undereat, you are just going to lose energy, strength, movement, stamina, and muscle. Let me share with you a real client story so you can see how this can be applied practically. This is a woman I worked with last year. She was 54 when she came to me. She was doing cardio 4 days a week, about an hour at a time, and she was super frustrated because she was working so hard in the gym, but she could not lose any of the belly fat that had crept up over the previous 5 years or so. So she was a textbook active sedentary woman. She murdered herself in the gym and then spent literally all the rest of her time sitting. She commuted to work, sat at her office job, commuted home, had dinner, sat on the couch. Okay, so listen to what we did. We took her cardio down to just 1 day, and that's only because I couldn't convince her to give it up entirely. We added 2 strength sessions, each taking about 40 minutes. We added 3 10-minute walks a day, 1 after each of her meals, and she started using a standing desk at work. Now, within just 2 weeks, her mood, sleep, and digestion were all much better, and by 6 weeks, she had lost 8 pounds. She hadn't lost a single pound in the previous 6 months. And not to mention, she was spending about 90 minutes per week less in the gym. So here are the 4 rules again. Rule number 1, know your baseline. Open your phone, find your weekly step average, and set a floor that makes sense for where you are right now. Rule number 2, walk after every meal. Just 10 minutes of walking after breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Rule number 3, stop looking for an hour. Just a few minutes attached to things you already do. Pick 3 things you like from my list and start today. Rule number 4, protect your movement when you're dieting. Don't cut so hard that your body responds by moving less, and keep tabs on your steps. Now, if you're motivated, but all of this still feels like a lot, just start with the 10-minute walk after each meal. Get that habit started now, and you can focus on the other 3 later. Now, I know you know this, but I still want to be totally clear. All of this is not about burning calories and getting skinnier. This is about investing in your long-term health, your blood sugar control, your metabolic health, your strong, resilient bones, your ability to fight off infections, your strong heart, your balance, whether you'll be able to push yourself out of a deep chair when you're 80, and whether you are laughing while you're chasing your grandkids up the hill or sitting in the car waiting for them. You are not too old for this. It is not too late. You don't need a lot of time, and you definitely don't need to live in the gym. You just need to get up and move your body. I'm Dr. Rachel Felber, ER doctor and women's health and strength coach. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.